Hey, good morning. Welcome to a beautiful day in southern Idaho. Today, gonna start working on the rear end on the off-road wrecker. So I was able to get all the pieces and parts. They finally came in. So I'm gonna walk you through removing the rear axle. We're going to change this axle from this Dana 44 354 to a Chevy 12 bolt with a 373. It's a little heavier, better for that. And then at the same time, we're going to remove these and install a different set of brackets. Let's see if I can grab one here. So we're gonna install this set of brackets that goes on the bottom side of the frame to hang the springs below. So I'm gonna walk you through this. We're gonna take this, probably won't be able to finish it today, but I'll walk you through most of it, removing the axle, and we'll get this changed over. So let me get the camera set up in the tripod and we'll get going. Okay, so to start with, I'll just start getting a few things unhooked, brake lines, emergency brake cables, and that kind of stuff. Set the axle down on the axle table. Brake lines are never fun to undo. Do not like to come undone. All right, there's the brake line. Can have a little bit of fluid in there, towel or something up underneath that. Keep it from leaking all over everything. Okay, so I got the drive line out and I just disconnected the park brake. I'm gonna get those out of here now. Got to pull them through. It looks to me like they're not even, they don't have any catches holding them in place. So I doubt they were doing a whole lot. Well, there's one. I'll pull this one out from this side. That. I don't like to cut those because somebody else is going to be able to use this axle. Still a good axle. A little light duty for me. So yeah, I got the drive line out. Brake line's disconnected. I got the park brake line or cables unhooked. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna move the camera back a little bit and then we'll set axle down and take the U-bolts off. We'll set it down on the table here so it doesn't fall. Big shout out to Fab Rats. I tried to copy Paul's table that he uses for his axles and basically do the same. Let's let this down. Safety one in the front, or we'll tip it off for sure. I like to put one in a stand in the front just as a stabilizer in case, but if you don't remember to take it off, you'll be in big trouble. All right, so let's let this down. Right, about right there. You can see that axle's kind of sitting in that. So now when I undo the U-bolts, it should sit down in there and not fall. Okay, so I got the axles or the U-bolts undone. They don't normally come undone that easy, as many of you will know. So I had them soaked rust spray prior to doing this. So anyway, looks like this one bolt here for the spring is kind of come undone. I'm gonna grab a big clamp and clamp this up so that it doesn't come flip out on me when I take it apart. Let me grab a big clamp and we'll get that put into place here. All right, so I got these clamped back up in here. It looks like the center bolt for the spring broke, so we'll have to replace that before we can go back in. But this is loose now. We should be able to go up with it and move the axle out of the way. Move the camera back just a hair so it doesn't get squished. And we'll go up. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go put the stand back under the front axle just for safety. Now that I've removed a pretty good portion of weight off the back, I don't want it to tip. This will keep it balanced a little better. All right, so here's the 44 out. That wasn't too bad. Move the table out of the way. Get ready to start taking the springs loose this side right here. Okay, I'm gonna move the table out of the way and we'll get ready to start removing the spring on this side and getting ready to put the hanger on. All right, so I'm working on spring bolts out. I want to try and reuse the springs because they're still good and they've got the overloads on them. This one seems to be coming out, but it's doing so very slowly. All right, so it's out a little ways. I think I'll put a stand under that, try to get some of the pressure off of it and see if we can't get the bolt out of there. I'm surprised the bolts came undone at all, but they seem to be in pretty good condition, and working at it here and see if we can't get this out. That was wishful thinking. They very rarely just pull out. Almost. Let's see if it will come out by threading it out with a ratchet. This wrench here, see if I can get this. Sometimes they'll thread their way out if they have enough bind to them, and you can wind them out. For some reason it feels like it's got some pressure on it. All right, I was able to get the bolt out finally. Just a little more wiggling. And we're just gonna leave this on the stand for right now. Just let it down so it's out of the way. Then I can cut that off and get the spot ready for the new one. It should be down far enough. Let's see if this bolt will come out. Yep, it does. So here's the difference between these spring hangers. This one went up and this one's gonna go down. So you can see that there's pretty good difference in the lift. Go like this, hang down. All right, so I'm gonna get the plasma over here and set up, ready to go. This hanger off, get the spot ready for the bracket. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the plasma cutter out here and see if we can't get this cut off. All right, I got this cut off. Used my torch instead of the plasma cutter. The plasma cutter I have is junk. I'm not gonna mention what brand, but haven't been happy with it since the day I bought it. I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up with a grinder and get the bracket up in there. All right, I got this ground down pretty good. I think you can see it there. Now we'll go right up like that. I think it's gonna have to come forward just a little bit. So yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna get the hanger put together and kind of stick it together, and then I will clamp it in place. So let me grab those parts. You can see I've got that put in there. So this is gonna change the angle of my spring quite a bit. So it moves the axle forward. Could be a little problematic. Not quite sure what to do with this like that. Got a bit of an issue here. So if you can see across from one spring to the other, this one with the new shackle, way too far forward. And that would require getting different springs. So what the interweb suggests is getting a hanger for the front and putting a different hanger here to move this point forward or back so that this lines up a little better and I can get a little bit better angle. Otherwise my axle is going to be way off. So I can't really tack that one in yet. Not quite where it needs to be. So I need to go look and see what I can come up with as far as a spring goes, a hanger goes, and see how long that will take to get ordered before I can finish or go any further. These outboard springs are a little tricky. They seem to be something that a lot of people don't modify, and now I can see why. It is a little tricky because if I don't get it right, I'm gonna have really weird angle to my axle and I'm going to have problems with my drive line and everything. So I've got to get this lined up. This pin is straight down from this bumper. It seems to be where the normal spot goes, where this pin is supposed to be. Looks like it's just right straight down from here. If I can get my spring back where it needs to be on this side, bringing a hanger out here, that would probably be the best thing to do. I'm gonna go see what I can find as far as parts and see how long it's gonna take to get them here. So I'm gonna go check on that real quick, be right back. So I did find there is some brackets I can get, some outside ones here that I can use to move this. So I took this bolt out. So this spring it's way heavy. Okay, so this hanger here is gonna have to come back some, and the new hanger will go right there. I may have to trim some of this one out along there to get it to fit. It should go on there. So unfortunately, that's about as far as I can go with that right now until I get those pieces. Clean this up a little bit, grind it out, and then see if I can find a spring bolt for that other side and take that other side apart. But I won't bore you with that because it's basically the same as this side. I'll pull it apart and see, pull all that off and get it ready to go. Anyway, okay, welcome back. It's been a couple of days and we're back on the J10 Jeep off-road wrecker. Last time you remember I needed to move the hangers for the front part of the spring back a little ways. So let me show you what I did. So I got these brackets from Rough Stuff Specialties. Not a sponsor, but they had the right parts. So this is where the old spring would go, is up in that hole there that you can see. And the bolt just goes through. So these, what I've done is I've brought it over and down or backing down. And then I have a hole goes all the way through the frame, and then this bracket supports this spring. I was able to then get this one in and in the right place. And then this, the center of the spring now will match up with where the center of the axle needs to be. I've got this other side set to go in as well. I got this one set up here, ready to weld in. I got this one set up here, ready to weld in. I've measured them both so that they're pretty darn close to the same spot on the frame. So hopefully we can get those tacked in. I'll get the springs hung in there, and then we'll wheel the axle in and get it up on here and set the correct pinion angle, tack that in there, and then we can kind of see where we're at and go from there. So I'm gonna get this set up here on the tripod. You can follow along. I'll probably set it on time lapse and we'll go that way. All right, I got these tacked on, and I got this big stinking heavy spring ready to put up in here and try to put this bolt in and hold it up at the same time. I'm gonna take the grinder and take a little bit off the metal insert here, and we'll try it again. Sorry, I forgot to turn the camera back on, but I got this in, I got the bolt pushed through. We'll put this up, hang it with the other one, and we'll take some measurements to see where we're at. See where we're going with here. That hole is acting a little small. Like it's not gonna go, it's not gonna go through there. So, get the reamer. All right, so we're just gonna take the reamer here and ream this hole out just a little bit. So the bolt will go through without any problem. Like that. A little on this side. Oh, gotta get this thing in there straight, otherwise it will grab a hold of it. All right, there's that. We'll ream out there. Now maybe the bolt will go through. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. I think in order to get this the right angle, I've got to have a wedge in here so that this will sit straight. This one here, this bolt, the spring bolt had broken, and I just had this, I had another one, so I put it down, put it up through there, but I have not cut it off yet, so it's just kind of sitting there right now. So let's kind of eyeball this. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'll tighten this down, we'll cut this off, and then the next part is to bring the axle in here and get it up into here and get the pinion angle set so we can see where we're at with that. One thing I may have a problem with is this fuel tank. With the Quadra-Track, the rear axle, or the pump gear was in the center, but the driveline went over to the right. This one's gonna be in the center, and if I stand in the middle, like it looks like it's gonna clear, but not quite sure how close it's gonna come to the tank. So I'm not gonna pull anything out yet. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it set up and get it put into place so I can see where the axle is. Yeah, let's get this tightened down and cut off. All right, I think I got this set. The axle is sitting on some 2-degree shims. From what I was reading, that this pinion angle needs to be about 3 degrees. We want to get our deal here set at 0. So right now it's 9 degrees down. And it gets us about 6.5 degrees down. Okay, so we're sitting about 6.3 down. I got a couple of blocks here. We'll stick under here, see what we can get. So right there is a 1.7 up angle. I'd like to be, that's pretty close to 2. I'm gonna say I'd like to be 2 if I could. That looks like about 2 degrees, 2 degrees of a pinion angle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and remeasure the ends, make sure I'm still in the right area, and then I will tack it on there. All right, I got this set. I remeasured everything. I'm gonna go ahead and tack these spring perches onto the axle. Got them tacked on there so they won't come off. Set at my 3-degree angle, pinion angle. Should be about right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the drums on and make sure everything will fit where those are as tight as they are. Get my gloves back on. We'll put this drum on. See how close we are with that. All right, perfect. Shouldn't have any problem with those hitting. There's plenty of space in between that and the spring and the drum. These will actually go up this way. You may have to figure out a new location for them, but we'll be able to get them out of the way. Anyway, that looks pretty good. This side. We'll put the drum on this side. E-brake up into there. Nice. Now, yeah, about the only thing I have to worry about is how close the tires will end up being. So, all right, now I'm gonna go ahead and get some U-bolts set up for this. I think the ones I have are way too long. It came because they had those huge blocks in them. Yeah, and they don't even go on this axle because the tube's a lot bigger. So I'll have to get some U-bolts for it and get a platform built for the airbags. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these all welded up so they're all nice and in place, ready to go. They all need welded up, finished up. We'll make a few more measurements there. And then I'll have to get some U-bolts that will go around this tube, which I have these airbags that I think I'm gonna end up having to put back here just a little bit. They have some mounts they came with, but I think, yeah, we'll have to see about where we can get those mounted, get those airbags in there. So coming right along. I'm super excited how it's turning out. I can't wait to see it on the ground with the tires back on it. Everything all tightened up and snugged up. I did mention earlier that whole axle or the whole driveline deal. You can see here's where the driveline goes, so we may still have to deal with that. I don't know, we'll get to it and see. The fuel tank may be coming out and something else going in its place. That's it for today on the J Truck Off-Road Wrecker. Appreciate you watching the channel, and if you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends. We got a couple new shorts that we've put on, and they're pretty cool. One from a CJ7 that I just sending back to the owner when we just finished up. And anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and keep those CJs rolling.